So hello again. We're now going to go through the Trecena of Aq'ab'al and see what the next 13 days are kind of holding in store for us, what we're kind of looking for and what's the best way to move forward with it. Okay, so Aq'ab'al. Aq'ab'al is the Nawal of the dawn and the dusk. It's that moment. I love being out at this time of day. It's around about 5:30 in the morning, that time when it starts to get light, that time when the sun isn't in the sky, so it's not really day, but it's not night anymore either. It's twilight. Twilight would probably, for me, be the best translation of Aq'ab'al as to like the truest sense of it. And it's that time when our dreams come to us, yeah? Particularly if you carry the Nawal Aq'ab'al, that's the time to be out. That's the time to be working. That's the time to get your inspiration. Aq'ab'al is like that moment, you know, when you wake up and you know that you're awake, but you can't be bothered to move yet, right? You're just about to open your eyes. You're just laying there, remembering your dreams. You're reaching for your dream journal or reaching for the place where your dream journal should be and about to write down your dreams because they're really fresh in your mind. That's Aq'ab'al. Aq'ab'al is the conception of the day. You know, it's coming in. It's not been born yet. We're still in that moment where it's a concept. We don't know what's going to happen. And Aq'ab'al is all about bringing new concepts into the world. That's one of the great things about it. It bridges the dream world with the physical world. So Aq'ab'al days are great days to bring new concepts in. The Aq'ab'al Trecena is going to be the great time to bring a new concept in. So if there is something that you've been sitting on for a while, you're starting to get it together, now we're about to bring it into the light, because Aq'ab'al is taking the sun from its underworld journey. I know that it doesn't literally go under the world, but as it's seen, the underworld journey, and bringing it into the light of the world. So it's about shedding light on stuff. It's about things coming into brightness, things coming into the whole day. And so bring a new concept in. If you've got a dream, you know, I said it's the link between the dream world and the physical. It's about bringing a new concept in. There's a lovely play of light and darkness going on right now. And so it's shedding light on what was in the darkness, shedding light on your dreams, bringing them into the physical realm. So, projects, ideas, plans. We just started the new year, the year 8 Noch, last week on Thursday. And now here we are. We've completed the Trecena of The that the 8 Noch was in, and we're going into this Aq'ab'al Trecena. Time to bring a new concept into the world. Okay, where's your dream? What's your dream? What do you want to bring in now? How can you develop it? This isn't necessarily something that you're ready to show to the world either, because like Aq'ab'al, I also can see rather like a pregnant woman. So the woman is walking around, she has a new life inside of her, but we can't touch that new life. We can only see its effect on her. The life is in between the world where it's being called from, in between spirit and the physical world. And so it's the same kind of thing. It's a new concept coming in. So this is a time to start a new concept. If you have a project that you want to begin working on, something that you're going to take in, that you're going to mature over the next 260 days or however long it might take, this is the time to begin it. It's not a time to get it out to the world. I keep seeing this thing that says, like, if you've got a new idea, don't tell anyone until you've kind of almost finished it, until it's ready to get out there. We're all so impatient to kind of like talk about this new thing that's coming and all this kind of thing. It's like, right, okay, is this time to focus, to conceive it, to work out what resources you're going to need to bring it into this world? How are you going to birth that dream into this world? How are you going to gestate it over the next 9 months so you can bring it in as a fully fledged idea, as a fully fledged project? Okay, so this 13-day period, this Trecena of Aq'ab'al, is something that we can be thinking about that, because we've all got dreams, we've all got ideas about where we want to go next, what we want to bring in. And this is the time to start to kind of like work out how that we can create them into reality. Okay, so we're going to begin on the day of 1 Aq'ab'al. 1 Aq'ab'al, the new concept. Very important to watch your dreams tonight. Very important to watch your dreams as you go into tomorrow, as twilight breaks tomorrow. What are you thinking? What are you conceiving? Now the 1 suggests this, you know, I was saying 1 is like a little seed, and it needs water and fertilizer, it needs some sunlight in order to grow into its potential. So this is the potential for a new concept. It's just kind of like floating around there somewhere. You're still going to need to ground it. That will come in 20 days time when 8 Aq'ab'al comes in. Okay, but for now, everything starts with a dream and how to bridge that into reality. So a great thing to do on 1 Aq'ab'al, get up early, go and watch the sunrise, make use of the pre-dawn hours to work out how you can bring your dreams into the world. And so this is going to be a theme that continues, and from 1 Aq'ab'al we're going to go to 2 Cat. Now 2 Cat, Cat is the net. The net is what we gather our abundance with. Our abundance is what fuels our journey. This is not necessarily about kind of like getting rich or anything like that. It's just saying, right, okay, in order to create this project, in order to bring this concept into the world, I'm going to need certain materials. Maybe I already have some of those materials in my net, because our net is our house, might be our backpack if we're traveling. It's kind of what we're carrying our stuff with. But there's going to be stuff in our net that helps us to move forward. Maybe there's stuff in our net that's actually slowing us down. The number 2 is about decisions and choices, and Cat gives us the discernment about what we want to hang on to and what we want to release. What has become an attachment which slows us down? Cat, the animal totem of Cat is the spider. And the spider weaves his web. That's why Cat is associated with it. How we perceive the spider's web depends on whether we're the spider or whether we're the fly, right? When we become bound by Cat, we can't move, we're trapped. We need to cut some strings to cut ourselves free, to release our attachments so that then we can move forward with our plan. But on a slightly less brutal way of looking at it, we can also take this time to look through our bag and see whether what we're carrying is of use to us. See whether it's something which is going to assist us to bring this new concept in, or whether it could be an old idea even. You know, it doesn't, when we're talking about Cat, it's attachment to all sorts of things, people, places, idea systems. Maybe some old thinking is holding you back. Maybe you need to release your attachment to an old idea so that this new concept can be brought in. So this is the day to do it, to sort through, to make your choices, because 2 is black, white, heads, tails, up, down, yes, no. Take it, leave it. Release it or stay bound to it. That's on the 2 Cat day. From 2 Cat we go to 3 Can. Now it's kind of interesting because, you know, I was talking about Aq'ab'al and this kind of like idea, the dawn, the twilight. It's this very intimate time, yeah? That light is very intimate. When we're talking about it's a new life growing within a woman, or however we're looking at it, this can be very introspective. And this is certainly introspective. 3 Can. Okay? Can is the Nawal of wisdom and power. Can is the Nawal of teachers. It's also the Nawal of illusions. Because can be the sorcerer. Can be the magician. Can make you see what it wants you to see. Can also helps us to see through illusions. As the teacher, teachers impart wisdom. Wisdom empowers the students. And so that's what Can's highest aim is to do. It's to empower people through sharing of wisdom. Now here it's combined with the number 3, and the number 3 represents 3 stars. It's these 3 stars here, and the number 3 talks about this place here, the Orion Nebula. It's seen as a home place, a place of emergence. And so 3 is very closely linked to home. And as such, sometimes, you know, you're trying to get your ideas out there, you're trying to do things, you're looking to the external, and things just don't seem to work. 3 days can be like that. They're not always the best days to actually try and get something out there, because it just feels like you keep, and one of my friends once said, on 3 it was like trying to drive a car with triangular wheels. So lots of effort to go forward a little bit and then you stop. Where it's forcing you to look, if you have that much trouble in a journey, what's better to do? Stay home, right? Because the focus should be internal. And here we see 3 Can. So if Can is the teacher, if Can is the wisdom, and we're talking about how to bring our new concept into the world, this is saying look to your inner wisdom to do it. Find the teacher within. Your body lightning, the energy in your veins, that's what's going to teach you. So pay attention to it, particularly on 3 Can. What messages come from within? Feel what your body lightning, your ki, your kundalini, your chi, your prana, whatever you want to call it, is doing, because it's trying to teach you. And it's definitely a day to be looking within. From 3 Can, we're going to go to 4 Kame. So Kame is death and transformation. Kame is the ancestors. It's connecting with our ancestors. And here we see it connected with the number 4. And the number 4 is about the material plane of existence. Our material plane is built around the number 4. We have the 4 directions. We have sunrise, midday, sunset, midnight. The structure or the geometry of carbon molecules is tetrahedral, they're 4-pointed. So literally everything about us is based materially on the number 4. So Kame, yes, it represents transformation, and yes, it represents ancestors. It also represents facing our fears, because that's how we transform. If we really want to spiritually transform, we've got to face our fears. And here we might be facing some physical fears, particularly in relation to this new concept that we're bringing in. You know, it's kind of like when you start pushing the envelope, that's when you start facing your fears, right? You can't really invent new stuff and bring new stuff into the world without kind of like coming up against some challenges and having to overcome them. So here might suggest that there's some physical challenges coming in. It might also suggest that your material ancestors, the ones that are still here, might be able to help you with understanding how to bring your new project into existence. Maybe your mum, your dad have got some advice for you, or your grandpa. From there, we then move into 5 Kech, the work day. Okay, the number 5 is this, it's the hand, and the hand is what we do the work with. Work, definition of work is the application of energy to the system. And what is the system? Well, in this case, it's Kech. Kech has many kind of like associations. This is a very Kech place here by the lake. It has mountains, it has trees, it has wilderness. This is a great time to be in the wilderness. If you want to receive messages, you know, if you talk to some of the elders here, they might say, you ask them a question, they might say they're going to go and ask the mountain. What they mean is they're going to go and walk in the wilderness. And often that's when the answers come to them, and it comes to them from the spirit of nature, which is represented by Kech. Okay, so this is put your energy into connecting with the spirit of nature. This is a great day for a hike, something strenuous even. 5 always ends up in a 13. And so what we see is that 5 always gets well paid. It will always be paid back for the work that it puts in. And here it's saying put your work into connecting with nature, because that's going to help you to understand how to bring your new concept into the world. From 5 Kech, we then go into 6 Anil. Now, Anil is one of the, I like Anil days, they're bright days, they're days to be in the garden in particular, always very sort of strongly associated with Anil. And it's days of growth, but it's also days of maturity. It's days to bring your project to maturity. So this might give you guidance on how to bring your new concept to its full maturity. Anil is yellow. It is made from these two anil splits there. An mean yellowing, and yellow, and il meaning ing, more or less. So it's yellowing. It's about ripening. It's about understanding how to bring our concept to its ripeness. So when we're doing that, bringing its concept to the ripeness, how is it doing it? Well, the number 6 I see like this. We've got the 4 directions, but now they're being fed by the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth. So it's about bringing the divine masculine and divine feminine into the physical plane. This is a very auspicious day, in my opinion, because it's literally receiving those messages, how to ripen stuff in the physical from what you receive from above and below. Okay, so that's a great day to be open to messages. It's a great day to kind of like understand, because this is not just kind of like stuff which is hanging out up in the ethers and that kind of thing. It's how to employ it practically into this world. You want to bring this to its greatest possibility, right? This is the day to receive the information on how to do that. From 6 Anil, we then go to 7 Toch. We receive and then we give back. Toch is the day of payment. Toch is the day of the fire ceremony. It is the day of service. It's the day of looking after people. It's the day of looking after your community. Now, the interesting thing, this is also, Toch is a great day for resolving your debts in whatever form they might come. Like whether it's financial debts or anything. Like if you got a bill to pay it on a Toch day. You know? If you got something where you took something from the community, you didn't give it back, this is the day to do some service, to go and pick up some litter or something like that, to pay back to the community. And this is a day to resolve your debts. Now the interesting thing is that it's combined with the number 7. And the number 7 is said to represent death and endings. So this is a great day to finalize any outstanding debts. Anything that you haven't paid for. You know, you borrowed a tenner off somebody 2 years ago and you kind of like said, oh yeah, I'll pay it back next time you see them, and you haven't seen them, PayPal it to them. Clear anything. You can't create this new concept if you're carrying those debts with you. So this is a day to kind of like wipe the slate clean, to finish any debts. Okay? From 7 Toch, we then go into 8 Zi. So Zi, the Nawal of faith and loyalty and justice, the Nawal of law, combined with the number 8. So the number 8, you know, I said that 7 represents endings. You come to the peak of the pyramid. The 1 represents beginnings. Well, if we had the 1 there and we have the 7 there, 1 takes us into the birth, 7 takes us through the death, and this is the 8. It's the whole cycle. It's all about wholeness. And so this is the wholeness of faith, the wholeness of loyalty. You're starting a new concept, put everything into it. Be loyal to it. Be faithful to it. Pour your unconditional love into it. This is also a ceremonial day, because we tend to do ceremonies on the 1 day and the 8th day of the Trecena. And so this is a day for celebrating the unconditional love of your friends, your family, your community. It's a great day to tell somebody that you love them if you need to do that. Okay? Because it's taking all of these aspects of Zi all of that faith, all of that loyalty, and bringing it into one place, applying it to the whole system. From 8Z, we then go into 9 bats. Okay, this is a really special day in amongst the calendar keepers. 9 bats is said to be the day of the creation of the women. 8 bats is said to be the day of creation of men. 9 bats the creation of women, and it is the day that celebrates the female calendar keepers. The reason being that bats is connected with the sacred calendar, and the number 9 is the number of the divine feminine. It's the number of life and the number of women. Now, that sounds auspicious enough, but there's also the interpretation that I would like to give to you of it. Bats is incredibly creative. Bats is the thread, it's the weaver, it's the master artist. And here we are with this new concept that we're trying to bring in here. Here we're starting to weave it together. Here we're starting to understand how to bring the threads and merge them together. Bats, if we said that that's the creator or creation, that's life. So it's the creation of life day. I mean, can you think of another auspicious day like that? It's wonderful. Okay, so this could be seen as a very fortunate day. And it's like how to bring this to life, yeah? What threads you need to weave together, what colours, what shapes, what sounds you want to weave together in order to give life to your new concept. From 9 bats, we're then going into 10 So, I was saying about maybe keeping it a little bit quiet, but there's also something here which could suggest a little bit of assistance coming in. The number 10 represents 2 hands coming together, like this. It's agreements that we make. It's the agreements that hold society together. It keeps everything together. So it represents community and society and making agreements. And here, representing the road, the journey. This is a great day for a road trip with your community, if that's kind of like on the cards for you. But in context of this, also represents the experiences that we've gained by taking to the road, yeah? So everywhere we travel, we're all seasoned travellers here. We've all been to a few places, we've all learnt a few things, and we may have all learnt different things. And maybe the path that I trod didn't give me all the experiences that I need in order to understand how to bring this new concept into the world. So I can go to my community and ask them to share their experiences with me. So maybe you've got a selected friend or something like that that you know is going to help you with that. Their experience can help you. This is the time to go seek it. Okay? Days for me, they're always good days to take to the road anyway. If you're moving on from San Marcos or however you kind of like think, 10 is a great day, particularly if there's a whole group of you going to do it. From 10 we come into 11 Ach. So Ach is the staff of office. Ach literally means he of. And my sort of title as what I've initiated is Achich, he of the days. Okay, so it is generally kind of like seen as a title, and it's sort of like a title of somebody who knows what they're talking about kind of thing, right? It also applies to village elders, and the elders are kind of elected not sort of through some kind of political system, but really because they are the wise and trusted and beloved ones, the ones who keep harmony and order in the village. And Ach days are about harmony and order in our homes, in our communities, in our villages. They're also about support. Ach is the Nawal of the spinal column, and it's our spinal column that makes us stand up straight. It brings us bravery, it brings us courage. So this can also represent courage to do the right thing, because sometimes we need to speak out. And when we speak out, we're speaking something which isn't very popular. But it needs to be said, it needs to be done, it needs to happen in order to bring balance and harmony to our home or our community. And so that's kind of like what Aq is about. Here we have it combined with the number 11. Now the number 11, I always like to think of it like this rocket with a broken stick, and it's going choo, 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 choo. You don't know which direction it's going to go in next. And this is in some ways, this is a kind of weird combination, because Aq can be quite static. Aq is really solid. It's our dependable one. The one that we trust, the one that we can look after. So the last thing that we expect is that it's going to be moving around in so many unpredictable ways. But the 11 also represents the creativity that comes from thinking outside of the box. Because when we don't know what our trajectory is going to be, it takes us to some points that we might not have visited if we were just going from A to B. And maybe it's what we find in those points that help us to understand how to be brave, how to bring harmony into our community. Okay? So 11 days can be rather wandering in their nature, but usually there's a purpose behind them, even if we don't see it to begin with. So you might find yourself going in a lot of different random directions, and it will come good in the end as to why you were going there, how to support it, and what strength and bravery comes from taking a path less travelled. From 11 Aq, we're then going into 12 Ish. So Ish, the Nawal of the jaguar, the Nawal of the Mother Earth. What's your project doing for Mother Earth? How can you look after her through your new concept? Okay, Ish is about our connection with our magical selves. It's about our connection with the sacred sites, the altars and the shrines. They're all governed by Ish because it's a sacred sites. You know, when we go and we look in the hillsides here, we find the shrines, the altars. They're in these little rock overhangs, and these little rock overhangs look like the ears on a jaguar. We're speaking to Mother Earth through these rock overhangs, through these sacred sites. Okay, so Ish is all about getting in touch with Mother Earth, asking Mother Earth for what you want, saying thank you to her and giving back to her. It's the three phases: asking, thanking. Okay, so it's combined with the number 12. The number 12 represents the bringing together of all of your life's experiences into one place. Okay, so this is a great day to understand, let's say, the environmental impact of your project here, your new concept. But it's a great day to ask Mother Earth for what you might need to go forward. You know, here we were sorting out what we're going to keep and what we're going to let go of. Here is where you have the opportunity to go and make your prayers, to go and do your service, to go and give to Mother Earth so that she might give to you. And then finally, we end up on this day here, 13 Zikin. Now, this is a really interesting kind of like day. Well, I mean, it's always going to end on a 13, right? This is the vision. The vision comes from Zikin, and 13 is the number of the ancestors or the spirit world. So this is where this one Aq'ab'al, you know, one Aq'ab'al, like I said, when we think about this dusk, this dawning, this dark kind of world before the sun has risen, and then here we're receiving the vision from the ancestors. So if you're looking for the guidance of where, you know, you're going to end up with it, it's actually calling on the vision of the ancestors. So if by this point in time you're still in need of clarity of how to bring your new concept into the world, this is a great time to be going and kind of conversing or working with the ancestors in order to ask for a vision. If you ever had a day for a vision quest, this is the day. Okay? This is also to say that on this day, on 13 Zikin, we can expect there may be visual signs which come to you that help to guide you on your way. And visual signs mean that we need to keep our eyes open. So 13 Zikin is a great day. Like if you're going to receive it, you've got to be like aware that it's going to happen. So again, this is why we talk about it right now. So you know when 13 Zikin comes around, to be on the lookout for signs, things which are out of the ordinary, which might be guiding you on how to bring your new concept into action. Okay? So that was the Trecena of Aq'ab'al. And then after this, we'll be moving into the Trecena of Aq'ab'al. So thanks very much.